Competing plans this afternoon. You could call them dueling plans, right?
It's a good way of putting it.
Although they're pretty similar. This to deal with the mortgage mess. One comes from Senator Hillary Clinton, the other from President Bush.
Now, both of these, of course, are aimed at stemming the growing tide of home foreclosures. Adam Shapiro has been looking into all the details, or at least those he can get his hands on, about both plans and joins us now with more. Hi, Adam.
Hi, David. And the important word here is freeze. It's not only freezing in much of the Northeast because of the snowstorm we're getting, but we're going to have some sort of freeze announced tomorrow for people who have subprime mortgages and who are current on their mortgages. They've been paying their mortgages, but they face a reset that they cannot afford. And the plan, as we understand it, will freeze their mortgage, their interest rate at least, for up to 5 years so that they can refinance, build some equity, and get out of the trouble they're in. Now, at 1:45 p.m. Thursday afternoon, there will be a press conference, an announcement by both Secretaries of Housing and Urban Development, Alfonso Jackson, as well as Secretary of the Treasury, Henry Paulson. They will be announcing the details of this plan. And already, Mr. Paulson has been briefing, to a degree, some members of Congress. Roy Blunt actually this morning addressed this issue and says this is going down the right track to help homeowners.
What the Secretary is trying to do is step in and find a cooperative solution where the private sector, the lenders, are a partner rather than being told what they have to do. And the long-term impact of that is much better for people that are going to get a loan 5 years from now or 10 years from now than going in and totally making it impossible for people to borrow money because nobody wants to loan it.
President Bush also expected to discuss this plan tomorrow afternoon. The plan apparently is in the works. It has been finalized, and at 1:45 p.m., the Secretaries of Housing and Urban Development, as well as the Secretary of the Treasury, will announce the details to us on Thursday. Back to you, David and Liz.
Adam, thank you. In the meantime, Senator Hillary Clinton at the NASDAQ today talking about the subprime situation.
She said there's a lot of blame to go around, including for the borrowers, but she saved the heavy artillery for other targets.
Responsibility belongs to mortgage lenders and brokers who irresponsibly lowered underwriting standards, pushed risky mortgages, and hid the details in the fine print. Responsibility belongs to the administration and to regulators who failed to provide adequate oversight and who failed to respond to the chorus of reports that millions of families were being taken advantage of.
Joran Brook and Peter Schiff joining us right now with reaction to that. Joran, what do you think? Is she going down the right path here or not at all?
No, I think this is an awful idea, and it's the same just true of the Bush plan.
Why?
Well, I mean, what you're doing is letting the borrowers off the hook, letting people who took on risk in an irresponsible way, and they should suffer the consequences. And Wall Street will suffer the consequences. It'll suffer the consequences of these foreclosures. Peter earlier mentioned the possibility of some of these banks going bankrupt. I hope they let them go bankrupt. Let the government let some of these banks go bankrupt. Let people who made really bad decisions, really bad mistakes, put money where they shouldn't have put money, let them suffer the consequences. Let the market clean the mess up.
And, you know, Peter, the other thing, and I've mentioned this before, is that because of the fact that most subprimers are paying off their mortgages on time, doesn't this provide an incentive not to? Because if you miss a couple of payments, maybe you'll be let off the hook for the next 3, 4, 5 years of an adjustable rate.
Well, of course, there's always a moral hazard. Whenever the government is giving away money, people rearrange their situation to achieve it. I mean, there's probably plenty of examples where somebody maybe took out a subprime mortgage and used the money to go buy a vacation house, which he owns free and clear. I mean, the whole thing is ridiculous, that the government should stay out of this process. You know, a lot of these teaser rates actually have negative amortization features. And if they freeze these rates, what's going to happen to these balances? People are going to have less equity in their homes in a few years, not more. And what good is freezing the mortgage payments? Let's say someone has a $300,000 or $400,000 mortgage on a house that's only worth $200,000. I mean, what good is freezing that? I mean, this mortgage is a liability, and who's going to take care of these properties? The borrowers aren't going to maintain them. They're going to depreciate even more. No one's going to fix the roofs or fix the plumbing when the house is worth hundreds of thousands less than their mortgage.
Indeed. Senator Clinton had some other points about the responsibility. And is it a soundbite, Lou? Is that a soundbite or a full screen? Okay. Basically what she said was that the responsibility lies upon mortgage lenders and brokers who irresponsibly lowered underwriting standards, pushed risky mortgages, and hid the details in fine print. Yoram, do you just let the crooks in this industry go? She's saying no.
Well, if there are crooks out there, then we have laws against fraud. The police should get involved, and they should prosecute them and send them to jail for a long time. The ones that were just incompetent are going bankrupt. I wish they'd let Countrywide go bankrupt. I mean, the reason Countrywide is still around is because the government is lending it money through the Federal Home Bank and through, ultimately, deposit insurance, which allows Countrywide to offer me 5.5% on a money market account, which is guaranteed by taxpayers.
And Peter, you know, Countrywide's just the tip of the iceberg. Freddie and Fannie, who hold, what, about $4 trillion worth of mortgages and securities, what happens when they go down?
Oh, I know. I mean, that's a big thing. I do believe that they're going to fail without a bailout. And I don't even think they can be bailed out. But yeah, sure, there are the loan exceptions where people were taken advantage of by unscrupulous lenders, and in those cases, people should be able to use the court system. But you know, most of these subprime borrowers, they used none of their own money. They bought these houses without a penny.
That's it.
So
Peter,
what are they going to lose? They're not losing anything.
All right, Yoram and Peter Schiff, thanks very much. We will be right back with more Fox Business.